to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is a founder, honor, advisor, and keynote speaker, as well as an author and the author of the book Reach by Choice. No other than Dr. Nicholas Michels.
It is. Thank you, Daniel. I'm excited to be here.
Welcome on Book 101 Review, Dr. Nicholas. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Absolutely, Daniel. I get that question a lot. They're like, Nick, introduce yourself. What do you do? And to be honest with you, I always say it's so important to understand what I do is to learn why I do what I do. If I take you back to the summer of 1996, I was just a kid. I was one of four boys, and we were all wild and active, and it was a fun childhood. My dad, he owned several businesses. My mom, she was a stay-at-home mom. We were lucky, we were blessed. And to be honest with you, Daniel, I didn't even know what money was. I just knew that we had a good life.
Mm.
But then it all changed. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was sitting in my room full of sports trophies, sports posters. My mom came in and said, "Your dad and I are getting divorced." And as you can imagine, our lives completely changed because it seemed like overnight my mom went from a stay-at-home mom with four boys
Mhm.
to a single mom of four boys working three jobs just to survive. Can you imagine that? Any type of security vanished, comfort gone.
Vanish, yes.
Uh, yeah, certainty in the future collapsed. It was at a very young age I quickly realized how much money greatly influences your life, either for good or for bad. We went
Mm.
from a big house on the nice side of town to a tiny house on the other side of town. You remember that good life I was telling you about?
Mhm.
Now we're in a life where my mom says, go get all the loose change and money around the house because we're going to need it. And, it wasn't the stuff like that hurt the most. What hurt the most was seeing the physical and emotional pain and toll it took on my mom and my brothers. And you know what? That just lit a fire in me. I wanted to learn everything, to read everything, to understand. That way I knew how to build, to grow, and to protect. I'm here to tell everyone that, people say you don't have a choice. You do have a choice. And remember my mom? She completely rebuilt her life. She is my favorite and greatest client. And then our
Mhm.
clients are wonderful to us. We love them. Our clients are like family. But
Mhm.
do you know how special it is after what my mom went through for me to be able to tell her, hey, you never have to worry again? And that's what I want everyone to experience is yes, my story is I learned by myself and I help people become rich with money and I help them become very rich. But you know what
Yes.
I get even more excited about? I get excited about helping people become rich in life, whether it be rich in security, rich in peace, rich in joy, rich in exciting experiences with loved ones, those amazing memories. That's what life's all about. And then I love showing people how to protect those riches. So no matter what happens in this world, you're going to be confident about your future. And so, Daniel, that's why I do what I do and what brought me to write this book.
Dr. Nick, I want to be rich in everything. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Hoping for more and more empowering books like this to come. The title Rich by Choice is powerful. It implies that wealth is a deliberate act of creation, not a result of luck or circumstance. What is the most important choice a person can make today to start on this path?
Absolutely. Number one choice is intentionality. Take action, be intentional. Picture yourself right now that you're 100 years old and you're in a rocking chair and you're looking back over your life. We're in it. This is our life. This is our time right now. What has to happen in your life for you to be happy? What is it? You know what it is. Who's important to you? What life do you want to experience? So be intentional about it and go out and get it. And that's the number one thing. And that's why rich by choice, you can be rich, but it's a choice. And I want to empower you to take that choice.
Dr. Nick, how does your definition of rich or wealth extend beyond the financial to encompass time, freedom, and well being.
Absolutely. So how it changes, and I talk about this in my book, is that I want everyone to be rich. And when I talk about being rich, yes, it is with money. Absolutely. But also rich in life. Like I want you to have a million smiles and laughs with people you love, a million and billion hugs and kisses from those sweet grandchildren. And so that's where it is, and my story kind of came full circle, to be honest with you, Daniel. When, I talked about learning and growing and learning how to build. Well, I realized as I got older that yes, my wealth was growing, money was growing, but my happiness in life wasn't growing with it. And so what I thought was just money when I was a kid, because I saw the money disappear in a completely different life, but it's not just money. Money is only one aspect of it. It's how you align your money with what matters most to you. That's when you start being rich in all areas of life.
Definitely very well said. Dr. Nick, truly, truly empowering indeed. You talk about taking back control. From whom of what are we reading to take back control? Is it from societal expectation, the financial industry, or our own ingrained habits?
Absolutely. I would actually say all of them. I mean, you're taking back control of everything. You're taking back control of your life in every aspect. So you talk about taking back control of your life and your money. I mean, so your life can either be by default or be by design. I mean, so taking no action, that is a choice. And so when you take no action, your life's going to be by the default. But if you create a life by design, really, and that's what's great about this book, it's a different type of financial book because there's nothing wrong with algorithms and PE ratios and emergency funds, X plus Y should equal Z. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's important. But this book is different where it takes the reader on a journey and at first has them understand, hey, what's important to you? Who's important to you? Understand your money psychology, understand your strengths and weaknesses and how those can help you, but also hurt you. And then only then does it shift to the next part of the book where it teaches you the strategies of, hey, how do we align our money with the first part of what's going to bring us joy? And so I would say, like you said, you're taking back control in all areas of your life, money being one of them, but it's only just one of many.
Yes, that's true. On the mindset of psychology, what is the most common limiting belief about money that you see holding people back, and what is the first step to reframing it?
Absolutely. The number one thing that's limiting people back is when it comes to mindset, is just thinking you're stuck. That this is your life and you have no options, that you have no power. Everything begins in the mind. The mind is a powerful thing, and I talk about that in my book. And actually, I compare the human brain and mind to supercomputers of today. It's fascinating. Go look at the research. It'll just open your eyes to how powerful the human mind is and what you tell yourself and what you think. It will become so. And so if you continue to be down on yourself and say I can't do this, well, you won't. And I want you to. I want you to have the life that you want. So it starts with the mind of what you believe, who you are, what you can achieve. Um, that is so important, and then what you put into your mind. So those are some things that are their first step right away. And so I talk about Nick's happy habits in the book, and so I give simple secrets, simple step-by-step instructions of activities you can do every day, from journaling to listing out your happy island or where you've been most happy in your life, things that you're grateful for, because gratitude is very important. So these are all very important things that you need to do. And then also, I'd say, Daniel, the second thing, which you didn't ask that, but I'll say this, is your money psychology. Money psychology, yes, your strengths and weaknesses, but also taking a second to look at your childhood. How
Hmm.
were you raised? Who raised you? What time period were you raised? These absolutely have a strong effect and psychological state on how you perceive the world and money today. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying for you to understand that and see, okay, hey, how is that possibly hurting me on where I want to go? And maybe it's just because you can have two people grow up in the same time frame, just a couple of streets apart, but their psychology is completely different because of their circumstances. So it's important to take a step and understand that about yourself.
Dr. Nick, how does the book address the psychological gap between knowing what to do with money and actually doing it? How do we bridge that intention action gap?
Absolutely. I'd say it's confidence. I mean, that's just one. There's many, but one thing is confidence. To where throughout the book, I list out several success stories, but also individuals of very successful people throughout United States history and world history that apply these same principles that I talk about. And so that's the number one gap is we live in a world today where it's paralysis by analysis. You go on the internet, you go on TV or the radio or anything podcast, there is an abundance of information about money, about life, and sometimes it's overwhelming. You don't know what to believe, who to believe. And I truly believe this. If you're listening and watching today, I know that you're trying to do the right thing. You want to do the right thing. You just don't know what to do. But if you can see the research in the book and read about the success stories and how it's simple and how it's helped people, I believe you'll get confidence to say, okay, I know what to do now. Now I have confidence in, hey, this, I can do it. And then you'll take that first step. And guess what? That first step turns into the second, which turns into the third. And then it rolls into that building wealth the way you want to.
Dr. Nick, for someone who feels overwhelmed by shame or regret over the past financial mistakes, how does your philosophy help them hit the reset button?
Absolutely. The first thing I'll say is if you feel regret right now about the would haves, could have, should haves, I'm right there with you. I mean, I'll tell you about when I first got married. I mean, I've made mistakes, tons of mistakes in business and life and in my marriage. I mean, we all live in an imperfect world and we're imperfect people. So I'm not sitting here saying, hey, I haven't made mistakes. I remember when I first got married, for whatever reason, I was young and I was dumb, but I was a financial advisor. And I thought that I should have been handling all the money, making all the financial decisions, not because it was a power thing, but just because that's what I did for a living. But I tell you what, I was so wrong. I mean, in my faith, I believe, when you get married, you become one. And I thought that I knew that, but I wasn't living it out. And it wasn't until I sat down and said, I never asked my wife questions. And what do you want? What's the life that you want to build? What are the memories that we want to create together? And not just that, but in detail. And so I give strategies and little exercises in my book that walks you through the same process that we went to. And before you know it, those money conflicts that we were having when we were newly married completely went away. We became one team. And so what I'm telling you is we've all made mistakes. It happens. We're human. But now is what do we do about going forward? Because life, what do they say? It's not about what happens to you. It's about how you respond and react to what happens to you. So I'm here to tell you, I've made mistakes. And in the book, I talk about it and what I've learned and how we've overcome it. And so my one thing to say to you right now, if you feel like, hey, I'm stuck, I've made mistakes, you're not alone. I've been there. And so just the people in your life that you love, that are important to you, the life that you want to live, it's important to you. You're worth it. They're worth it. Your life is worth it. Take those steps, those action steps, and it's simple. And I walk you through it, holding your hand one step at a time.
On practical strategies and system, Dr. Nick, let's get tactical. What is one surprisingly simple but highly effective money system from the book that listeners can implement this week?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the simplest, and you're gonna say, Nick, I've heard this before, but I'm gonna tell you what, one of the simplest of getting control of your finances in the early stages, and we can talk later on. You ask me follow-up questions about investment strategies and estate planning and building multi-generational wealth. I can go into that. But one very simple strategy from the very beginning is the budget. And you say, Nick, well, I've heard the budget before. Well, have you heard it like this? When you write down, I call it your every penny budget, and you write down all your money that's coming in, and just think you're going to work 90,000 hours throughout your lifetime. That's a lot of work. So you might want to take just a few minutes to understand, hey, where's all that money going? And when you write out your budget, understand and ask yourself, is where my money is going today bringing me more joy, bringing me more happiness? Is this purchase getting me to where I want to be down the road? There's so many people that I sit down with that are struggling, that are just in the early phases of building wealth, where they have money like subscriptions that they're buy they don't even know. And so it's understanding, hey, each thing you're spending money on, spend it. Great. If it's bringing you happy, joy, wonderful. Understand where it's going and is it getting to where you want to be? That is so simple, but I tell you what, it's powerful. because you didn't know this. If you can just clear up $7 to $10 a day, which is just one Starbucks coffee, a couple Cokes, that money put back rear geared can be millions down the road for retirement.
Hmm.
Simple, but powerful.
Yes, I like that. Simple but powerful. Master your money suggests moving from being passive to being the CEO of your finances. What does the board meeting for your personal finances?
Talking about being the CEO of your life and mastering the money.
Yes.
What I love about it, I have a sports background. And I remember this. I played college basketball, and in sports, it becomes very evident that DNA can benefit you. You know, the bigger you are, the stronger you are, the faster you are. What I love about money, none of that matters. Is that money is a skill that, guess what? It's a level playing field. We can all learn it. We can just have our, do you want to take the time to understand it? And I always talk about money kind of attracts you. The goal is, at first, the goal is not to have. The goal is to be, as in to become. The more intelligent you become, the better person, higher integrity, the more people you help, the more your intellect rises with money and how to obtain it and sustain it, the wealth is going to come to you. So that's what I love about taking back control and mastering, is that it's a skill that you and I, we can learn. I mean, how exciting is that? It's not only a few people get to have access to it. No, it is a skill that we all can learn to better our lives. And so that's what I get really excited about.
Hmm, definitely. How does your approach to investing differ from the complex get rich quick schemes that often dominate and conversation?
Yeah, good question. The quick get rich schemes. If you read tons, I mean tons of very successful investors, they'll actually tell you that most of the can't hit get rich quick schemes, they've lost money throughout their lives, and not just a little, but a lot. And so that's the thing. Now, I'm not saying it can't happen. We've all heard of this one person one time at some point got lucky and wonderful. And if that's you, God bless you. I'm happy for you, and I hope it happens to everyone. But statistically speaking, no, that just doesn't happen. It doesn't. It's the ones who are disciplined and let compound interest take take its toll over time. So that would be it. So when it comes to the get rich quick schemes, I always tell people, so give me, Nick, I got this hot stock tip. Can I invest in it? Or Nick, I heard about this great investment idea. I always tell people, think about check mark boxes. When it comes to putting money back for retirement, check mark box. Budgeting all your bills, check mark box. Paying down debt, check mark box. Setting up your kids' college fund, check mark box. All these different check mark boxes that are fundamental. If you can draw a line and have expendable income after that, and you want to take a little bit and quote unquote gamble it, I wouldn't advise it, but that'd be the only time to do it, because what happens is if that goes wrong, your financial future is still intact because you're taking care of all these other check mark boxes up there. And when I usually say that, it just puts them to the frame of the listener of, okay, I'm taking care of the important things. I'm being smart with money. And if I want to take just a little bit and go for a home run or a get rich quick scheme, fine, but I still wouldn't advise it. But at least when that goes wrong, if it goes wrong, and statistically speaking, it will go wrong, you're not financially ruined over it. And I think that's a positive way to look at it.
Definitely. And Dr. Nick, as a founder, owner, advisor, keynote speaker, as well as a debut author, what are your short term and long term goals?
Yeah, when it comes to short term, with the book success, it's been great. Short term is just continue the rich by choice movement. All the different accolades and awards from the book has won has been wonderful. But you know what I love most, Daniel, is receiving all the emails and personal success stories of how it's affecting people's lives. Whether it's the person living paycheck to paycheck to get that under control and start making small steps forward in progress, to the family that's about to retire and they're just uncertain over their financial future. Do we have enough? Are we going to be okay? To all the way to the family who has built wealth, but they're still a little unfulfilled. That they thought that once they got to this pinnacle and they had all this money that um, it wasn't what they thought it was going to be, even though it's wonderful, but they're still missing something. So hearing those stories come in short term, I just want to keep that up and keep spreading the news about the Rich by Choice movement and how it can help people. Long term, honestly, I got lucky. I love what I do. I didn't know I was going to be a financial advisor. I didn't know I owned a financial firm. I didn't even know I was going to write a book. And it's one of those God wink things where it just happened. And I love it. Like, I'll probably never retire. So long term, my goal is just to keep helping people, keep empowering people, letting them know that, hey, you can have a better life. You can have the life you want. You can have confidence in your future.
Dr. Nick, thank you so much for empowering people all over the world. Keep up the
That
good
is.
work.
Hey, I
Keep up the
appreciate it.
good
Hey,
work.
one last thing I'll say is I have a free gift for everybody that's on here. It's absolutely free. If you go to our books website, which is www.richbychoicebook.com, richbychoicebook.com, right there on the homepage, it says free gift. Put in your email and pick the chapter compounding. And why I
Mm,
love this chapter, people talk about compounding as in compound money. Wonderful, absolutely. But I'm going to tell you something. Everything in your life is compounding, whether positive or negative. Read this chapter because there's simple strategies at the very end. And whatever you're dealing with, whether it's money, budgeting, spouse within your marriage, relationships, personal health and wellness, faith, a lot of different things, personal growth, whatever you're dealing with, this chapter is going to help you. I promise you. Go get it. It's free. It's my gift to you. No strings attached. It'll come to you in a PDF form. Read it. This chapter, yes, it's about money, but it's about life, and it changed my life in a wonderful way, along with all of our clients. So it's my gift to you. I hope it helps you.
yes, certainly. And good luck to your goals, Dr. Nick, and looking forward for more success. And what will be your piece of advice for those people out there want to be like you?
Yeah, like me, I would say I always joke that it's the greatest job in the world. I say it's actually the second greatest job. The first greatest job would be a trust fund baby, but I'm not a trust fund baby. The next one is a financial advisor because here's the thing: your success is tied to helping people. The more people you help, the more successful you become. If you want to become more successful, guess what you have to do? You have to help people. And so it's the greatest job in the world. And I love it because the people, like I said, our clients are family. We love them. I mean, what starts out as business becomes a friendship, then it becomes family, and they're just wonderful people. And you also get a backstage pass into what is success in this life because you start to see the common themes which I talk about in the book of how do you become successful, how do you use your wealth grow, how do you improve on certain areas of your life. And so it's wonderful. It's the greatest job ever. So if you want to do that, we're going to be offering a do it yourself, which you learn to be a financial advisor, should come out next year. You can learn there as well, but I would highly recommend it. It's a wonderful way to help people.
Definitely. And thank you for that advice, Dr. Nick. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Oh my goodness. Yes. I mean, I'll be quick because I know we're over time, but I'll tell you a story. I was in church and it was Pastor Rick was doing a sermon, and it was a great sermon. Talked about what the Bible doesn't say. And it was fascinating. He brought up for the next several weeks topics that people think or assume the Bible says, but it actually doesn't. And it was fascinating. And what it got me thinking was, I might not know what the Bible doesn't say. So I read the entire Bible from front to back. First time I was 29 years old, first time in my life to do it. But you know what? It completely changed my life in a wonderful way because when you fully understand of what you believe and then how you live your life in parallel, there's such peace to that. But what I also learned is the Bible is the greatest money and success book of all time. That is
Mhm.
the number one thing, and it changed my life in an incredible way. And I talk about that in my book as well. And I give quotes from those successful people: Andrew Carnegie, Warren Buffett, Abraham Lincoln, Susie Orman. I can go down the list of so many successful people. And guess what? The Bible says the exact same thing. And so it's fascinating to read that. And so that's the number one thing I'd say other books read because it'll change your life in an incredible way. Even if you don't believe in God, you still read the Bible because it's got great information there that can better your life.
Definitely. And Dr. Nick, thank you for that recommended book. And what is the biggest pushback or criticism you receive about your philosophy, and how do you respond to it?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest pushback is would be two. One would be, I have to be rich to invest, and that's just not true. And the other one it is, hey, I can't make money in certain investments, whether it be the stock market or this and that, because I had a friend one time who lost money. So to put those two at rest, number one is, like I said earlier, you don't have to be rich. Your last name doesn't have to be Gates or Rockefeller to start investing. We talked about, I gave you a simple strategy of taking your budget. Find one or two things in your budget that aren't bringing you joy right now. Just reallocate that money to a Roth or traditional IRA or investment account, an index fund, anything, and see how your wealth grows over the next 10 or 20 years. That's simple. You will become rich. The second one is, Warren Buffett has a great quote. He says, unless your friend has their own private plane and they fly it to their own private island where their private yacht is waiting for them, don't take investment advice from them. And he's joking, but he's being serious, because I hear a lot of people that get burned on investments because their buddy or coworker told them. And I'm not saying that they don't mean well, they're not doing it on purpose, but unless your friend or buddy is a very successful, wealthy investor, don't take financial advice. And so that leads to people losing money, and they'll say, oh, well, you can't make money in the stock market, or you can't. No, they just got bad advice. I'm sorry about that. So those are two things that I hear of. Hey, you can't make money and you have to be rich to become even richer. And those two things just aren't true. I'm living proof of it. I mean, I came from nothing.
Yes. Hard work for sure. Number one, is it?
There is hard work. I call it grit a little bit as well. But once you,
Correct.
and that's what's great about the book, because once you understand though that what's important to you, I mean, really understand it. Because when I first started saving, I didn't like saving. Saving's boring. I mean, you have this money coming in, and you have FICA and all these things being taken out of your paycheck. And after that, I'm supposed to save. But is when I really got clear about my goals, the life that I want, when I started building, that's when become saving and investment became fun, because I was building something with my wife. We're doing it together for a better life. It changes your perspective, and it'll change your future.
For the recent graduate just starting out versus the person in their 50s feeling behind, how does the application for your principles differ? Is it over too late to make this choice?
Yeah, great question. So someone young and starting out. I talk about this in my book, and it's so important. I believe it with all my heart. The greatest investment you can make is in yourself. Absolutely, without bar none. Because think about the ROI. You invest in yourself. You start reading a good book, 10 pages of a good book every day. You start going to seminars. You find a good mentor, a coach. Improve yourself, not just with intellect, but integrity, work ethic, great, all those different things too. Find something you're passionate about. So that's really it. Money will follow. So if you're younger starting out, yes, start being smart with your money, use these principles, but also look in the mirror. Who are you? Who do you want to become? What kind of life do you want? Become the person that can have that life, and achieve that life. I mean, I can't tell you, when you're younger, the ROI on money, whether it be a salary, whether it be income, whether it be return on investments, if you take the time and really be passionate about growing as an individual, oh my goodness, look out. And if you do that as well as being smart with money, and you should at the same time, your future is incredibly bright.
Brighter than the sun, indeed, for sure. And how do your strategies work for entrepreneurs or gig economy workers with variable income, where a traditional budgeting often fails?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We have several business owners and entrepreneurs that are clients of ours. You're right, because it's not like X hits your bank every month, every week, and so it makes it tough. But you do know, if you're an entrepreneur, ballpark. I mean, you have fixed expenses and you do have variable expenses, and you can kind of get a handle on both of them, and you kind of know the variable by being in business long enough, what your variable expenses are and when they're going to hit. And so that's the biggest thing. If you have ebbs and flows, well, when things are good, you have to put back and you just reassess every quarter of, hey, How much do we make every year? How much do we make? How much do we spend? We need to be putting, because when we sit down with clients, we know how much you need to be saving and investing to get to a certain point in the future where you have what's called capital needs analysis, enough money and assets that generate a certain income for the rest of your life. That's financial independence, right? We know that. And so you just continue to look at it. Every 90 days, every quarter, multiple times a year, you're saying, hey, this is where we're at, and following it to where, hey, when things are good and you have a surplus of money coming in, wonderful. Pay yourself first. Yes, there's going to be months where you have variable, unexpected expenses. I know that, but put it back. And another thing I'd say to entrepreneurs, because a lot of people say, hey, I invest in my business. Wonderful. I think that's great. I do the same thing. But guess what? You need to have a golden parachute along the way. Don't forget to put back into retirement, 401k, a SEP, and you not only do you have protection that way from creditors and other things like that, but also too it gives you multiple income streams as you get older, and you want to build that. So don't just rely totally on your business. And also too, what happens if something happens to your business? I always say my job is to hope for the best, but plan for the worst. Hey, I hope your business, you 10x it and you make a ton of money. I can help you do that because I receive coaching on 10xing businesses. But I also know that, hey, sometimes in life throws us curveballs. Okay, great. Are we going to put all our eggs in one basket, or are we going to build wealth for multiple streams of income in case something happens? So I would highly encourage entrepreneurs to take this seriously, to say, hey, wonderful. Be passionate about what you do, but also have other streams of income that you're building and assets along the way.
Dr. Nick, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101. Love Letters in fourth season, as well as my movie 101 review and Music 101, Science 101, and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen to your podcast. So, Dr. Nick, was there a concept or chapter in the book that was the most challenging to write, and why?
Oh, that's a really good question. The most challenging was probably being vulnerable about my personal life and my failures, things that were not failures, but mistakes or setbacks that I made along the way. Because what they say, there's nothing as failure, there's only setback. And so just writing that, not only in the first chapter, which is Victor by Choice, but also other areas around the book of just really, sharing that. I mean, no one likes to talk about their mistakes, but guess what? Like I said earlier, we all make them. And I've been able to learn through not only working with thousands of people at speaking engagements with the select families that we work with and we help, but then also my own personal life. So the toughest thing was writing about those. You relive those experiences, but as part of a growing process of saying, "Hey, I'm human. I've had a lot of success, but guess what? It didn't come easy. That I've had some setbacks, and so don't beat yourself up if you're listening to this. If you've made mistakes, um, it's okay. You're human. Forgive yourself, and let's start talking about the future rather than the past." And so that was a challenge I have. So when you read my book, I'm right there with you.
Dr. Nicholas Michels, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your business, or whatever projects that you're doing right now? And of course, your book itself.
That is, one thing I'll say about the book, when you buy the book, you're already making a better cause in the world because it's our nonprofit. All proceeds go to my wife and I nonprofit where we help families, we help kids educate about money, and we send kids to camp. So just thank you so much for everything. Daniel, thank you.
You are most welcome, Dr. Nicholas. Yes, people, let's support Dr. Nicholas Michels because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering advocacy to come, more and more empowering books to come, for sure. So, Dr. Nicholas, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
More to come, people. See you soon.